Hey guys, it is Ryan,
And Neil.
and today's Tuesday, and there's a lot of crazy things happening in the world right now. We're trying to stay very positive, and we're trying to remind people that we are a beacon of light. That we try to help, by supporting, by teaching, by educating. We are a support system for those in need, whether it's our realtors or it's our clients. So a lot of people through all of this and a lot of crazy things that have been happening, they've been asking, how do I buy a house? I want to move, or I want to buy a house in a different place. And so they're asking, what we wanted to really do was spend some time teaching some of the basic fundamentals to say, this is how you can make your situation better, or maybe so that you can put yourself, your family, in a place that may be considered a little bit safer. And we wanted to talk about budget.
Or a lot safer.
Because it really starts with budget. Obviously there's the credit component, but a lot of it has to come with budget and income. And we wanted to talk about where a lot of people go wrong. And Neil and I love to talk about this. I'm going to put my phone on Do Not Disturb. And that is, what we want to talk about is, where does your money go? Where are you putting your money?
Do you even know where your money goes?
Right. So when you get your money, a lot of the financial gurus and stuff that I've seen or I've read, they will say, pay yourself first, which is savings. Why is savings one of the most important things for you to put your money into first?
Because once you do it, you forget about it. It's gone. It's forgotten. It's the same thing when we just started a 401 here.
Yeah.
And I had to convince everybody to do it because when you take it off the top, you don't even realize it's there.
And the point is, guys, if you make it a daily discipline and a regular habit, like Neil said, you start to forget about it. It just becomes routine. Just like you wake up and you brush your teeth.
Compiles and compiles.
Right. And the compounding interest ends up accumulating way faster than you realize. So when you're looking at your budget, first, you've got to figure out how much money do I make on a monthly basis. And from that, some people will say you want to put 10% into savings. Now, obviously, based on your living situation, you may be able to afford that. You may be able to afford more. Maybe you can afford less. But if you can afford less, or you can't afford it all, then that's where you want to start looking at
Maybe
what
your
type of
bills
jobs
are too high, or
Right.
your income's too low.
Now, most people in budgeting, they're going to look and say, what's the first thing? My home. It's the most important thing. Where do I live? I
My
have
rent.
to make sure I pay that. Whether it's a mortgage or whether it's rent, this is where the first portion of your monies should go. Next will be your utilities, gas, electric, phone, cable, things like that. Essentials. What are some of the basic essentials that people should be considering?
And clothes.
Food, clothes, toiletries, things that you need every single day before you ever go out of your
Those
house.
fancy boots and that fancy hat, you don't need it.
Or the bags, or the
Bags,
fancy
expensive
accessories.
makeup.
If you
You
can't
don't
afford a
need
fancy
it.
phone, you don't
You
need a
don't
fancy
need a
phone.
fancy. You don't need a $1,500 phone. You don't need it.
Now, one of the things that people make a big priority in their life is a fancy car because they want to look good going from A to B. At the end of the day,
Everybody knows how I feel about that.
right? Cars are not that important, guys. The most important thing is to find a car that is both economical and reliable.
And cheap.
That's economical.
Cheap. 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 That fancy car sitting in front of your rental apartment is crazy.
The last thing is entertainment. A lot of people will spend money on entertainment.
Not
and they
right
go
now,
a little
they're not.
excessive. Right, obviously you can't go to restaurants and bars and stuff like that. But like, think about this. I think about this all the time. People who are already tight financially and they go and get a pet. Now you have additional pet supplies, you have pet food, and they have veterinary bills, and they're not typically cheap. But they're all just little things to think about, guys. Don't make bad decisions that are going to tighten up this situation of the income and make life harder and make this home buying situation even further away. Do things that'll stack the deck in your favor. Talk to somebody if you have to. Find somebody who's in a good position where you want to be and ask them how they did it.
You have no idea how many times I ask people why and they say, I deserve it. I don't have an answer for that. I mean, that's like, so you deserve it, but do you deserve not to give your kids a better life? Do you deserve that? I don't know. That's just a bad one.
And everybody thinks things differently. You may have a different opinion than we do, but if people are calling us, and this is primarily for those people, if you're calling us and you're asking, how do I get to this home ownership? Well, you have to start here at the income and say, where is my money going? because that's ultimately what it comes down to. If you're smart, you set up a budget. You figure out, okay, first, how much money do I actually make? And then you say, what are my current bills? What are my current essentials? And then when you figure this all out, you figure out, okay, what's left that can be added to this. Always make sure that savings is your first bucket of money that you put into it. Some people, they'll do the envelope method. Some people, they'll just have a separate checking account. You know, one's just for bills and one's for, you know, we'll say entertainment, stuff like that. It's really important, guys, while you're focusing on saving money and building your credit, you have to understand, where is my money going? And that is really one of the first most important things that you could do. Anything else you want to add on that, Neil?
No.
Guys, please be safe. Please
Stay
be
safe,
healthy.
seriously.
If you are in a situation where you need help, even if it is outside of the mortgage-related world, we know a lot of people collectively. Between us and Sage and April, actually, thankfully, Sage and April, they're working in the office again, which has been great. If you need help, even on a friendly level or a personal level, send us a private message. It doesn't have to be a comment on a post. Send us a private message, pick up the phone and call us. It can be completely, well, I'm gonna say anonymous, but like, it's confidential. We're not gonna share anything, or we're not gonna expose you. If you need help, we are here for you, way outside of just the mortgage world, okay? So give us a call, let us know if you have questions. If you found this helpful, share it. There's gotta be a lot of people right now that, you know, stimulus money, what'd you do with your stimulus check? We know you're not blowing it on bars right now, but if you got a stimulus check, where did you put it? Did you pay off old debt? Or
Don't
did you
go
put that
buying
towards
a
your down
car
payment?
with it.
Yeah, don't go buying cars with it, because we know the car dealerships are open. So, all right, guys, thanks so much. We love you. Have a great day.
Stay safe.